Welcome to your September 15th Monday Power Hour meeting with Carly Fulton and Clare Fulton. We are down two sisters actually though. So one sister is recovering from a small surgery. I thought I'd remind everybody, all the sisters, because I was away this weekend and everyone's getting confused about who the sisters are. So I'm Carly. I'm the one married to an Indian guy, Sanic. Had the big Indian wedding. That's how people know me.
We don't have a kid.
We don't have any kids. I didn't just have a baby. Caitlin, if you follow her Instagram story, you can see what she's all about. She had a minor surgery last week, so she's at home recovering from that. But if you want to learn more about that, you're welcome to check out her Instagram. Paige is the one that had a baby. Remy Ray, we welcomed August 23rd, so she's at home taking care of baby. And then Abrielle is our unicorn fourth sister, who's not in real estate. Maybe she will be one day, and she works at radiation at Oshawa Hospital. So there's the four girls all in one. So if you forget our names, that's okay. You can call us the sisters. Or Ralph, is what Claire used to call us when he forgot. So, right?
You guys do that too? You call your kids and you call the wrong name? George, Fred, whatever.
You get mad, you're like, ah. Eric's like, no.
Does nobody do that? You don't do that?
Yeah.
Give your kid a heck and call the kid the wrong name, and you know.
I know what my wife looks like.
That's all that matters, I guess, right? That's good. How many people do we have online now? I know we've got about 20 or so here. That's good. Mm-hmm. How was open houses? Those who ran open houses this past weekend? No open house. No for your team. I know of one in Pickering. Sebastian's brand new listing. I think on Jacqueline, 1.1 million. He had 8 scheduled appointments and then 8 groups through Saturday and Sunday. So that's pretty good for Pickering, 1.1. Mm-hmm. I know someone else that did an open house on a property that's been on the market for a little bit in Markham, and that one had no attendance at all. So I'm always kind of watching to see if it's the fresh listings that get the most attendance at an open house, or can you still do an open house on a listing that's been up for a while. So I really think it depends on price point and the marketing of that listing.
So most people are still showing up in open houses through Realtor.ca, you think? Or the signs?
Yeah, according to the one in Pickering, he said 5 of the sort of 16 groups through were represented by agents. Okay. So it's not a bad way to do a second showing. I think they like to see who else is there. It creates a little bit of FOMO if it is busy as well. I know, Sanic, you don't mind hosting the open houses, especially if the other agents send their buyers in. It gives you the opportunity to talk to them and sell the house. So it's not bad.
Everybody remembers as well that open houses, you got to put it on the Realtor.ca as well. You have to do a separate open house. You just can't put open house on MLS. You have to go to the
actually 3 steps, right? So one is in the MLS listing itself. One is in the prop tech open house so that it shows up on Realtor.ca. And then if you want your colleagues to see it on Broker Bay, if you want to get those Saturday, Sunday emails, you throw it into Broker Bay as well so that your colleagues can see what you're up to. And I pay attention to that stuff as well. So 3 areas just to advertise your open house. Mm-hmm. And then you've got your street signs as well.
I didn't see that many signs out. You guys see very many signs out in the streets, like in Markham or any place?
Not as much as I used to. Is that because people are just now getting settled back into school? Like this is kind of our first week for the adults, kind of more settled. Do you agree, or because I think more listings are coming on the market? So
we're starting to get a little bit more now, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have seen people in my area do evening weekday open houses. I didn't see them a lot on the weekend, but I noticed when I was coming home from work around like 6 o'clock, there was like an open house sign on my street. So.
It's interesting, yeah.
Coming from the work.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever tried that, to do an open house during a weekday? No?
Yeah. We've done like nighttime ones.
It's not as high energy, but you get a couple, right?
Different vibe. And what if a house looks really good at nighttime? And we'll showcase it that way.
I think you could capture like the neighbors and people that were busy on the weekend.
Just think, like during the summer, it didn't get dark till 9 o'clock or so there. But nowadays it's getting dark at 7:30. So I think it might change a little bit.
I think so.
A little bit's going on there as well, right? So
yeah. Yeah. Anyone online comment about open houses or no? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think overall it was a little bit more quiet then. How about buyers? Is anyone running showings on the weekend? Indy's always like, yes. Both days, Saturday, Sunday? All days. Yeah, all days. All over the GTA or locally? All over, yeah. Where's the farthest you went?
Sorry?
Where's the farthest you went?
Hamilton.
Hamilton, okay.
You should buy a house in Hamilton.
Nelson, remember seeing many appointments this weekend?
Showings were a little bit lighter than usual.
Lighter than usual?
And even offers typed over the course of 3 days, they were a little bit lighter than usual.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the weekend before. It's like, looked like we were picking some steam, and then all of a sudden, boom again. So I don't know if it's because of the extended weather. There's a lot of people out and about yesterday for sure.
Or are you waiting till the 17th? Is everyone waiting?
Or maybe that 17th, which I'm using for cancel relists right now.
Yep.
Is just to hold off. People are saying, should I do it now Monday or Tuesday? Just wait, it's going to be positive. I think it's going to be at least a quarter point.
I think so
I'm
too.
pretty sure of that, and I think it's not going to drive prices up, but I think it's going to make people feel a little better.
I think it's going to move a little. Anyone on the fence is going to help move them out a little bit, and that's what I'm seeing in my own clients. And then the phone calls I'm getting is people are starting to come out a little bit more. They're starting to do some offers and get out there. It's not crazy rush, or they're certainly not feeling any pressure to do so. There's no FOMO, but they're starting to come out a little bit more. You agree?
So are we getting more buyer inquiries right now?
I am.
I asked this question 2 weeks ago, and it said yes. People said yes. People are starting to come out there. So I'm just curious whether they came out or didn't come out. So we're starting to see a little more activity, because I'm starting to feel a little spring the fall market. I'm starting to see some fall market right now.
Yep. I got 2 calls on the weekend for downsizers. So they're seeing some opportunity. I've got 2 that want to go into a condo. So what a great opportunity to sell your freehold and go into a condo. That'd be great timing. But yeah.
Very good. So we just showed a little bit of Mike Ferry stuff right there, talking about price reductions on listings. Does anybody have any listings that are sitting there not doing anything?
Yes. And we got a good offer.
Hey,
last week.
I was going to say, you got an offer, so that's not doing anything. So did you pay attention then to the script that was happening? Did you?
My old boss told me you can't fix stupid.
So I'm just curious, anybody else have any listings that are not moving right now? No?
I have one in Aurelia.
Okay. Yeah, really. Yeah. So everyone's going to feel Toronto first. We're going to get hit, and then it's going to all spread out to Cottage country, which it is right now, too, up through Aurelia, all those areas. Yeah. It's just price, right?
Yeah.
And you feel comfortable talking to your clients about price?
It's my uncle.
Yeah. That's
So it's just
worse.
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 than any client you've ever had.
Truly is, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Maybe you can delegate it to some new team members. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's tough, but we have to, like you said, you hired us to tell you the truth. You didn't hire us to lie and sugarcoat things, right?
For those people at home, so they didn't see the video there, they're talking about price reductions and having price reduction scripts and have an actual say and an actual script to get price reductions, and just to talk to the client. You have to remind them what their original motivation is. What do they want to sell in the first place? Right? And sometimes we ask that too. Nelson does too, right? You want to know from the sellers, what's their motivation? I was talking to somebody this morning, says, what's their motivation? Well, they want to downsize. Is that motivation? It is? I would say it's not.
Depends on why.
Right? If they want to downsize, I don't think it's motivation. If they bought something already to downsize, that's motivation. Right? But if they're sitting with trying to get their big price there, and it's not enough to push them, I wouldn't think.
Yep.
I don't know. So you have to remind what their original motivation to sell was, and have the scripts for that too, right?
Yeah.
He also said today, he says he put the sellers in the buyer's shoes. Mm-hmm. If you were the buyer, would you buy this house for this price? No way.
Would you pay more than market value for a house? Yeah.
So there's all little tricks and little scripts you can get to reduce prices, but motivation is the biggest thing, I think. If they don't have motivation, it's so hard to make that happen.
Yeah. The new challenge we have is I had a listing. It took us about 40 days to sell. Price was okay. We ended up doing 6 amendments for extensions for financing. So that's a really tough conversation to have with your client. I spent the last 3 Friday nights, every time 5 days passed, with my client. They're asking for another extension. This is where we are. You want to be angry. You want to say, no, let's move on. But the reality is there is no one to move on to. So you really have to balance out this making it work with. But that was a lot. That's the most I've ever done for a listing. 6 amendments. Yeah, for financial extensions. And it did go through. It's firm. It's going to close in 3 weeks. But those are really challenging conversations to have with your client as well.
You're dealing with special clients too, right?
Yep.
So,
For sure. Yeah, this is price point Scarborough, 700,000, right? This is not a whole lineup of people waiting to do that. So.
Interesting. Very good.
Lots of fun times, yeah.
How about lead gen? Is anybody doing any lead gen right now? How's that action going on?
Like online lead gen, you mean?
Your phone? Okay, all right. So some person shaking their head is calling for leads.
Okay,
so
good,
that's going strong. And how is that going?
Good. I got 1 lead today. Called for 1 hour. 10 people picked up. Got 1 good lead. 1 email. So.
Good.
better than doing nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So you did how many calls? 10 calls? And, yeah.
No, I did a lot of calls. Picked up.
You found 10. Okay. So people tell me that there's no phone numbers out there. How do you phone?
No, there's a lot of numbers, but a lot of them are out of service. But
right.
out of those, 10 people did.
So you keep going, right? So you're saying there's lots of phone numbers, a lot of them are out of service, but you still found 10 people that picked up, and you found yourself some conversations, right?
There's not much of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
25%.
All right. So last week I mentioned in detail, but a client that wanted a condominium and wanted to buy a condominium in a particular building, and nothing was for sale that they wanted, the type of style or the view, whatever it was. So they got on the phone. They got a guy that said, "Yeah, I'll sell," and then he sold the thing and double-ended it. So there's business out there if you just go back to the basics, right? It's not really hard. So it's all there.
We saw a cool lead gen thing on the weekend. So instead of doing an open house, Tashia helped her seller client run a garage sale. So they went in the front yard, they did a garage sale. She was right there handing out her flyer. She did some door knocking. They're prepping the house for listing, and she got 3 appointments from that garage sale. Why not?
It's a good idea.
All right.
Your downsizers, they have stuff to sell. They're going to be outside. That generation wants to try to get what they can get for their stuff, not like our generation that would just donate it and ship it off. But they're going to put it on their driveway and try to sell it. And why not help out your client and meet the neighbors in the area?
So years ago, we used to say that people have open garage sales to clear the house out before they sell the place. Right?
Yes. Why else are you clearing it out? Yeah.
So if you're farming in an area, which we're encouraging, and you see people doing garage sales, you want to make yourself known to the garage sale. Maybe the guy's thinking about selling. There's an opportunity, right? Right. So that's
That's a good idea.
The other one is what's the other one? The other one is people buying stuff at Home Depot to fix up their house, new flooring, new painting, They're getting ready to sell too.
Stalking.
Right.
What are you buying that new flooring for?
Right. So maybe you want to know your local hardwood flooring guy too, whoever your guy is.
That'd be easier than a Home
and see
Depot.
what they're doing,
What
right?
about funeral homes?
Oh gosh, they're now.
I had an agent that did funeral homes, and that's the touchy one, right? So my suggestion, rather than going to the individuals who have lost somebody to see what they're doing, I would go to the funeral director and have a relationship with that guy
Yeah.
or girl,
Yeah, because that person has a relationship.
right? Because that happens all the time. People die and they go there, and it's the first one to find out is the funeral director, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I went to the funeral home and I was over there for somebody that we knew, and I gave my cards to so many people, but nobody calls me.
So we had an agent years ago that by mistake walked into a wake. You guys know what a wake is? A wake is after the funeral, you go back to the house and have drinks and parties and talk about the guy at its celebration. Like it's a little bit different, right? But anyway, so this fellow here, he was going to an agent open house, saw a bunch of houses around down the street from the agent open house. So he walked into the house there and handed out his card to people and walking around, and then he realized it was a funeral. It wasn't, the open house was across the street. A little embarrassing, right?
Yes.
Having your business card at a funeral. Imagine that.
Was it really by accident?
Was it really by accident? Was the question? I think it was. I think you got to be some kind of person that handed the card at a funeral. I think, man.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Well, good. Yeah.
So I feel the market's picking up a little bit. I think we're getting a bit of a September markup. It's kind of sputtering a little bit, but I do feel a little more active.
I do too.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm starting to see.
I can tell in the headlines too because they have less to report on when we have good news. So you can see them like stretching at headlines and like really like stretching the results and trying to make some sort of negative story about it. Because I have a lot of positive stuff, but it wasn't the usual sort of previous months that we've seen in terms of media. So.
Who else? iPro update. Rico has decided that they're going to sue them as well. So why they didn't do that in the first place, I don't know. Did you guys read that the latest thing that Rico published out on Friday? Apparently, these people were systematically, according to them, this is Rico talk. When you go to this is Rico lawyer talk, but they're talking about how the couple, the owners, systematically took out money on a planned response, I guess. But they're also suing. They're suing iPro Realty. They're suing the individuals, Alves and. How do you pronounce that? Colici. IP Holdings, Hippo Holdings, Sutton Group Professionals, Alco Motors, and Alco Rent-A-Car. So what this guy was doing, he used to run a Sutton Group Professionals out in Mississauga, and he shut that down, but it was owned by a company called Hippo. So somehow I guess he got investors to invest into Hippo, and Hippo then invested into iPro. And now I think the investors wanted their money back, and or break your legs, or whatever they're going to do. I don't know whatever the reason was. So they're taking money out to pay off these debts. So Trev is saying they're going to try to trace it all. They're going to try to find where'd the money go to get the money back, and they're going to try to make things happen. At the end of the day, I believe that the consumer will not be hurt. I said that last week as well. I think the consumer will be fine, but the agents themselves may not get 100% of their dollar, but they may get something. But who knows? OPP is also looking into it as well.
Offense.
So yeah. It's got to be criminal, and we're going to find out on September 30th.
I think everyone's investigating it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really scary. I don't understand why Rico would have let the guy go in the first place. That's how he lost his job. I don't know why he did that, but anyways.
Yeah. Does that affect you guys? Your clients asked you about it? Was it like the one kind of crazy hit, and then everyone's like, it's affecting us at the broker level, but are clients asking you about it? I know you had one client that asked you about giving us the deposit and if he should be or no, another brokerage the deposit. But you had a good script to overcome that.
I feel like I'm telling people that's why you work with a well-known broker.
Professional brokerage, yeah.
Who's been around for 45 years.
So maybe it's just our industry itself that are concerned, maybe not the public.
Yeah.
And the newspapers, of course, trying to sell newspapers. They were onto it for a little bit too, right? So that's fine. Average price today, what do you think? Average price today is comparable to what year? Just rule of thumb, right? So you guys know off the top of your head, what was the peak of the market?
2022, 2023.
It was 2021 at the beginning of 2022.
February 22 was the peak.
Yeah.
Right? February 22 was the highest price ever. So what do you think today's prices are? What year would today's prices be considered? I'm just off the top. Like you're in an elevator talking to a client. What are the prices like today? Yeah, so 2021 is the actual number.
They're still in 2021. 2021 was about 1098. We're more than 2020, but we're less than 2021.
Okay.
So in the big picture, when you're talking to your seller clients, it's not that bad, right? Like we're not below 2020 pricing. It's not that long ago.
Yeah, just to recap there, for 2022, average price overall at the end of the year end was 1.193. In 2019, somebody said the average price in 2019 was 812.
So we're not there.
So the prices took off. Like imagine that. So 2019, the average price was 812. 2020 is 926. 2021, 1,098,000, which is where we're at today. We're 1,022,000 right now, and 22,193. So market's okay. It's been, it's not, other than the 2022, the market's okay as long as we drop that probably 20% anyway, sorry. Prices dropped 25% from 2022? Probably, right? Almost $1.2 million to a little over $1 million, so 20% overall. So market's okay, that's all right. Stats?
Yep.
Okay, so as of September 14th, we've got 29,662 active listings. We started the month at 27,000, so we're up about another 2,000 active listings from the beginning of the month. So we are starting to get more inventory. Broke it down, it's 12,000 are condos, 17,000 are freeholds. Vacant, there's still 34% of all properties for sale are vacant. 28% of all freeholds are vacant, and 42% of condos are vacant. So we know that too. Anybody selling any condos here? Anything going on with condo markets? Anybody trying to sell condos?
Yep.
Like the unique ones are selling.
Like the boutique ones and stuff like that, rather than the cookie cutters?
Good layouts, good building. Yeah.
Sales themselves for the first 14 days of September are actually up 15% from last September. Last September we did for the entire month 5,122. So if we get almost maybe 6,000 sales this month, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. But I think it's a little bit slower than that though. Sales over 101%, so 16% of all properties are selling for over asking. So if somebody says, what's the strategy today? Do we price it for multiple offers, or what do we do? Nelson, what have you been doing lately? You been pricing to sell or price to?
Using the multiple offers.
You're trying to do multiples?
We got to choose one way or the other, but there's nothing wrong with especially if there's not much competition out there.
Yeah, so you have to be careful, right? So even though 16% are selling over asking, but it's select.
We've been really choosy
selective.
on where we use that strategy now. It used to be always plan A, no matter what. Now, if it's a condo, maybe not. If it's a really old house that needs work, I might not want to draw up that kind of energy. It really depends on the pocket and the price point and the timing. But 15% of the time, it may work, so it's not zero.
Yeah. Projected months of inventory. I think it's going to be about 6 to 1. So I think we ended the month last month about 5.3 or something like that. One. So about 6 to 1 ratio means for every active listings, every 6 active listings, one's going to sell if you use the stats. So how would you use that in a conversation with Mr. Seller, right? 1 in 6 properties sell. You want to be the 1 or you want to be the 5, right? So you got to price it to the point that makes it happen to sell, right? So those are all good things. August sales were about the same as August 14th. Looks like maybe about the same. So we're on pace with September. Even though I just said September seems to be busier than August, does seem busier, but the numbers aren't shaking out just yet. But they'll firm up later. Leases, 16,000 active leases, 8,000 are freehold, 8,000 are condos. Vacant, there are 52% of leases are vacant. Leases versus last year are just minus 4%. And unfortunately, between, this number doesn't seem right either.
No, I think it actually is, because I think the end of August was so crazy, it's skewing up your month numbers.
Could be, because I'm showing here the August 14th versus September 14th, we're down 41% on leases.
Yep.
Anybody know that? Are leases, you having a hard time selling leases right now? Is that a thing?
Or did anyone have a really crazy August and then slow down? Because that's what I saw in the deal. I mean, like we did like crazy amount in August, and then we did a good amount in September, but not nearly as much. Where normally it would have been heavy September.
The only thing I can think of there is a lot of students moved in August to get ready for school in September.
But they would do that normally, every year.
Yeah, but I'm comparing month over month.
Yeah, that's true.
right?
Yeah.
Month over month, just month over month. But anyway, so the market's not crazy hot, but it's not crazy slow. So there's still business out there. Still people have to sell, right?
Yeah. Last week we talked about the return to downtown, return to the office. Do you guys have any clients that are in that situation that have been called back to work? Not yet. Maybe a little bit. It's coming. Some major players have just signed some big leases. So Scotiabank and RBC are looking for almost 1 million of square foot of office space. So that's huge. So these people all got rid of their office space, right? Now they're looking for it back. Fidelity, 150,000 square feet at TD Center. Interact is doing 50% more space at First Canadian Place. Blaney McCartney signed a 10-year lease for 3 full floors at Scotia Plaza. So all the big 5 banks are coming down to 4 days a week. And then the Ontario government and Rogers are moving to 5 days per week in 2026. Rogers too. How do you guys feel about this?
Rogers call centers going to be really hard.
What are you guys doing? How many days a week?
We're for our agents or for employees?
No, we're 7 days a week.
You guys are 7 days a week, 24/7.
We're like a
That's what we are.
Literally every day.
7 days, right? Real estate's a totally different industry, right? I have mixed opinions. I think it's good for downtown. I think it's good for businesses down there, but I don't. If they force people to go back like this, they're going to lose some good talent. I think people need to fight for good talent right now, and I think COVID was a way to teach us flexibility in our schedules and a little bit of work-life balance. And I think making a big force like this is going to be detrimental to hiring good talent. And we're already struggling with that in Canada. So I don't know. But good for real estate. Good for you guys, right?
There has to get another space on the spot, the one he gave it to.
In downtown?
No, here.
Here?
Yeah, we need more space.
You need more space here? We have 10,000 square feet here. I have there's empty desks right there. There's lots of space here.
I think COVID just changed everything upside down.
And I don't think
It just changed
you
everything.
almost were going to say it screwed it up, but I don't think it screwed it up. I think it changed things.
It changed things there, but I think coming to the office out there, I don't know. So we should have a mandate here. Everybody has to come to the office 4 days a
Can
week.
you imagine? Actually, we should do that. Why not?
And do phone
Come
calling.
in for 1 hour of phone
Do
calling.
phone calling.
Yeah.
Productivity will go up.
Right.
What did Percy used to do? Did Percy used to make you guys come in, or what was his philosophy?
Used to be we didn't have computers, so you had to come in.
You had to have a choice.
Or we had.
You had to come get your tear-off sheet.
We had the only computers. Nobody had computers at home. So.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The old days there. But
We had a Bowers book over here. We had to make a copy of the Bowers book.
That's
I know,
right.
huh?
Yeah. I mean, so what I'm reading is, especially the youth labor force, is about 14% unemployment, which is pretty shocking for our young guys. And they're the ones actually not going into the office, ironically. So I'm hearing tons of positions that are opening up, and they're saying, no, we're not going to the office at all. And I think that's a bit detrimental for our youth trying to learn discipline and career and social skills and relationship building, especially if they want to get into sales. They should want to come into the office. I think that's where we're missing the boat a little bit. I don't think you're going to force a 19-year-old to go in 5 days a week, 9 to 5, but I think they should be in the office for their own learning, right? So, yeah.
So as more people moving downtown, as we were saying this last week as well, more people move down, that's going to make the 500 square foot and smaller condos made a little more attractive if somebody wants to buy a second unit. But what I'm reading also here is that the suburbs are maybe have effective. So now that people have bought out in the burbs, and I'm talking about like Newtonville or Coburg or Peterborough, Barrie, the Eastland, Milton, and Georgetown, stuff like that. I'm just thinking that these people might think that they got to go back to work. Let's move closer to the office.
Yep.
So they're suggesting here that maybe the suburbs might have a bit of a negative impact based on what's going on.
Yep.
I think Cottage has been affected.
And Cottage has
so
been
too.
affected big time because
It's a ripple
same
effect.
thing, right?
Yeah, it's a total ripple. So there's some examples too. If somebody's in a condo, they want to move up. Unless they can sell that condo, they can't go anywhere. So they're kind of stuck. And then you've got the opposite effect. Everyone that moved out north, they're trying to come back, but they also can't sell their house to come back. So it's this weird ripple effect both ways, right? But I think you're right. I think it's going to put some pressure on these little tiny condos, and nothing wrong with having a little pied-à-terre and coming to the city and working, and then going back to your house.
I think it's positive, except the traffic is terrible. So
Yeah, we're not greatly set up for that, and our transit's not.
7 has traffic now, man.
it's not
Of course.
livable anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's why I don't think it's fair to force everybody to go 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good spend of time to be in your car commuting in traffic when you could be at home, fully productive, 8 hours at a computer. That's why I think they have to be really careful and have some balance, right? Yeah, some flexibility. They're not working home? I will argue with, I don't know. I don't think so.
Same
I
thing
don't
is
know.
happening in
I think
US.
they are.
They're pushing everything.
Yeah, we're not unusual. But
So I've got this chart here. It's talking about average days per week of the office changed since COVID from different cities, and around 2004, they're taking an average 4 days a week. They're doing Europe, right? 4 days a week average. Today, Paris is 3.5 days per week. Singapore 3.2, New York 3.1, Sydney 2.8, London 2.7, Toronto 2.7. So we're the worst of all the big cities.
that's pretty fascinating. But I bet Paris was like that before COVID too.
This was the 2024 numbers here, so
Yeah.
just
To
minus
see the
0.5,
difference.
right?
Yeah, so it's not a huge drop though compared to us.
Yeah, and then Londoners go in 1 or 2 days a week, just more than any other city. So I don't know. I think it's good things for positive. If you've got clients down there with in that path there with any businesses, they'll be happy to see these people come back to work too.
Yeah. No, that's true. So we're kind of talking about this already. The drop in Toronto home prices is having a ripple effect all over Ontario for both those reasons, right? So first-time home buyers can't get in because the upsizers are not necessarily moving. But I think prices are, they're 5% down right now. They are predicting they're going to go down a little bit more throughout the end of the year, so that would be positive. But super challenging deals. Like you've got condos that are not selling, so some of those people are renting and they're using the rental income to qualify for the mortgage to move up. So they're going to keep it rented for a year. So they're trying to be really creative now on how they get these deals together. You actually really have to check the financial health of your buyers as well to make sure that they're qualified before you even take them out. This guy's saying you almost have to be a part-time detective now. You got to figure out what mortgage your sellers have, what they need to clear the mortgage, and you got to make sure your buyers can really qualify before you even waste your time going out there, because it's not an easy market right now. Not everyone can just get jumped in and approved as well, right? So.
How would the city's announcement going to affect the housing market?
The $13 billion?
Yeah.
Don't know. Guess we'll see.
They say they're going to be manufactured very quickly, right?
Yeah. I'll read about that too.
Yeah. The other thing I'm reading, and you guys might be experiencing this in rural areas, there's lots of conditions on selling the other purchaser's home, and so that will also have a domino effect. So you can almost have 3 lost deals if one person in that chain doesn't go through, right? So all the deals are highly complex and interesting. They're all connected right now, but the Ontario market is interesting, I would say.
Everybody knows what Carly just talked about, eh? So we haven't used that for so long. It's conditional upon sale of the buyer's property. We used to call it SPP, now it's SBP, I guess. Sell the buyer's property. But what you've done, if you've got a listing, you're selling it to some guy and he's bought your place conditional upon selling his place. You have to do a C-man his place and find out whether his place is going to sell before yours sells.
And it's also going to be conditional on your first one firming up. Like you're not going to go firm until the other one, the original domino one.
Yeah. So you might be in a worse position if the backup property is worse than your property. Then you're better. You wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. So you have to look and ask, right? Are you saying that because you've seen this happen?
We're talking about when we were accepting those type of things, that we're putting a condition upon our agent viewing the property that they have for sale, and if it doesn't make sense, that we can kill that deal as well. So that's another clause that comes into play.
Yeah.
So for those at home, there's just say we make it conditional upon the our agent confirming the value of the backup property.
We have a condition right in the offer.
Right. So you got to be careful about that. That's fine.
The other trend that's happening is there's people in Toronto that are ready to retire and go into cottage country.
What are you gonna do?
You got to do a proper CMA and
You can
figure
still
out.
do it online.
You got to think which property has the highest chance of selling, your property or the backup property.
And also, who is the agent? Are they savvy? Are they professional? Are they working hard? Are they lazy? Like it's also the whole package. Yeah. That's why they think you got to be a detective and kind of figure out everything.
Like if the buyer's been on the market for 60 days, would you accept a conditional upon that property selling? Not without a giant price reduction.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the other trend is people in Toronto are retirement people. They want to move actually outside of Toronto, but they can't sell their Toronto houses for a price that makes sense to go north. So that's happening right now. And then the other things happening in cottage country is a lot of people, when the interest rates were really low, bought cottages for fun, for recreation, for fun, for luxury. And those people are trying to sell right now, and they're not selling for the prices that they bought them at. And so those are what's coming on the market right now, and you're seeing some really hurtful prices of what they're selling them for in the end. So lots of just different trends and challenges right now.
Annual fees. A lot of
Annual fees, and then some people bought these as investments to Airbnb, and now we have a tax component of that too. When they sell it, now it's a commercial property. There's tax components of it too for the buyer and the seller. So yeah, lots of things happening.
Just to touch on what Carly just said. So if we've got a lot of people bought cottages up north and they converted them into Airbnbs. Now the municipalities up there are not allowing Airbnb. They've done the same thing in Toronto. They've got to be long-term rentals. It can't be short-term rentals. So a lot of these guys are selling these places. But I saw one listing where the guy had an Airbnb and they sold the property. 1.4 was the list price, and then he anyways, turned out that the property, because it was being used for Airbnb, is now a commercial property subject to HST. So the buyer has to pay 1.4 plus another 13% HST.
Or someone's got to pay. They got to negotiate.
So people are smart, thinking, well, I'll make Airbnb, not understanding. Okay, it's one thing to Airbnb today, but now when you go to sell it, what happens? But they don't allow Airbnb anymore, so I'm not sure how they overcome that. But anyways, it's
That's why they're selling them.
If you're taking a listing that used to be an Airbnb, consider what I just said, because you've got
What
to.
do you do before you're selling? Can't you deactivate the Airbnb or something?
That's what I want to know. If you've converted to a commercial property, it's a commercial property. So.
Yeah, they look back on how much it was used as an Airbnb versus a primary residence, and I think there's some formula of how much it's used, and that will automatically deem it commercial property.
Like what I'm saying, that's right. What you're saying is that if someone planning to sell it,
Yeah.
like the price
Convert it
of
back to
selling
primary for a year or
can it
something.
be converted
Possibly,
a
yeah.
few months before or a year before?
I think not a few months. I think it's got to be at least a year of primary residence to change the whole status.
There has to be
right?
some way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, but an accountant would be able to advise on that too. The other trend I'm reading about, we always talk about staging and sprucing up the property. We talked a lot about like lighting and all this crazy stuff we do right now to get a property available. But the new trend I'm seeing, and I've been considering it on our listings, is back to providing home inspections. So we haven't done that in like 3 years. When I first started, I was always providing a home inspection, pre-inspection with the listing. And now they're saying that beyond the staging and all that stuff, the inspection is giving some buyers confidence before they go in. So if you've got a really old house that somebody's going to find something in, why not find it show it to them right away so that they have more confidence to go in? There's another school of thought that maybe you don't want to hide everything and let them find it on their own, but buyers are scared right now, so they're already a little bit uncertain, so why not help give them some confidence? So just an idea for your listings is maybe to provide a pre-inspection now. They may still do their own anyways, but I haven't done that in a long time. So.
Would you guys trust another guy's home inspection?
No. But at least you'd have a little bit of a guide of something as opposed to doing your own and spending $300, $500 to do your own. At least you've got a bit of a foundation, right? But no, I wouldn't trust it. You can keep going if you've got something.
We talked about this last week, right?
That one got some good hits on Instagram, actually.
Yeah, you published it, right? Did you
Yeah,
publish it?
we posted it on, yeah.
So Carly published this thing. It's called "In Toronto, cheering when homeowners sell at a loss has now become a spectator sport. Is that a bad thing?" So it seems to be like misery loves company, right? So when somebody loses $400,000, they're saying here that people cheer.
I think it's mean.
Do people cheer? I think it's mean
Yes,
too.
if you look on Reddit, there's whole Reddit like streams of they follow one particular property and they follow what it sold for and what they paid for it. And yeah, like people are like hyped up.
You on MLS? How's that Charlotte sell?
Exactly. They don't know the full story. That
999
person might have taken a loss
Charlotte,
on purpose to go buy something better, right? So they don't know the story, but I think it's negative energy too. We shouldn't be cheering for that. I'm happy for prices to go down overall, but
But that Reddit is it's pretty negative anyways, isn't it?
Reddit's mixed. I would say TikTok is definitely more negative. Reddit you get mixed. Yeah.
Has anybody tried to go to Reddit to try to find business? I mentioned that a couple weeks ago, where people were in there saying that I'm thinking about buying a condominium in this building. What do you guys think? And I'm thinking there's a good opportunity to get a hold of that guy and tell him what you think, but not on that format. Try to get him offline to see if you can see if he's got an agent or not. But a lot of guys ask those questions on that. Just throwing it out there. That's all.
Yep.
I don't know if it has any sticky or not, but a lot of guys do that type of thing.
I use Reddit for a lot of like my news stuff. That's how I find out about like unemployment and like what are like buyers and sellers talking about, about the market, because they talk very openly in Reddit back and forth, like hundreds and hundreds of comments of like really nothing. So it's interesting to go on and read.
Nothing better to do.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's an entertainment too, right? A lot of
Could be
people do
entertainment,
that
could be
kind of
education, could be boredom. You never know, right? So I think you mentioned, was it 19% Clare homes are selling over asking?
thing. 16.
16%. So this is a bit contradictory. Someone did a study, just GTA neighborhoods, and they're saying that 98% of GT neighborhoods are seeing homes selling under asking. Right? So yours is all Peel, so you're doing GTA
I do mine
too.
live, so.
This is they looked at particular GTA neighborhoods. So yours is broad overall. These guys picked certain neighborhoods with more than 5 houses in that neighborhood.
Just to make a comment, just a comment. I don't do it anymore. I used to do interviews for Toronto Star, Toronto Sun. Reporters would phone me up and ask information about the marketplace and that. And what I found they did, and these guys do the same thing, they wrote the heading before they asked questions. So somebody here has written the heading saying that 98% of properties are selling for under asking, and then they find the properties.
the 5.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to understand newspapers are in the business to sell papers, right? So
That's what I said,
they come up with a catchy heading, and then they find the data to support that heading.
Yeah.
It's not always true. As I said, I do a simple thing. I say how many properties sold for over 101%, and I get the number.
Yeah, this one's super negative. That's why I say like this bidding war is no more.
So the newspapers are trying to sell newspapers, so you got to be careful with the heading, but you use the heading to your advantage. Mr. Seller, 98% of properties are not selling for asking price. Right?
Yeah.
But then your buyer sees that, and you're trying to do you've got a property that's priced to sell that maybe try to collect multiple offers, and the buyer sees this, I'll offer 2% less than the marketing price.
Yeah, this one's attracting the buyers for sure. Bidding war is no more. 98% of GTA neighborhoods see homes sell under asking. It's a weak market all around. Soft labor market, it's highly negative. Yeah. So be careful, right?
Who wrote that?
I don't know if it matters, but
No,
It's Canadian press. So this is Wahi. Wahi's always has tons of stats, right? But just for your interest, here's the 5 neighborhoods that they hand-selected that sold under asking. So Oakville, Eastlake, North York, York Mills, Vaughan, rural Vaughan, Brampton, and Old Toronto, Forest Hill. And these all make sense because these price points are over like $2 million. So that makes sense that these would sell under asking. These are not list low type strategies.
These are 98%?
Yeah, these are the 5. These are the 5 selected neighborhoods.
So we're talking about $4 or $5 million territory.
Yeah, the average price is 3.8, 3.3. So yes, of course, there's a selling for under asking.
Yeah.
But these are just examples to show you the headlines, right, and what your clients are reading as well.
So I mentioned about negative stuff, and I just did this just for fun. Better Dwelling. If you guys watch Better Dwelling, I get I read the newspapers all week there, and I get what I want to do. And Better Dwelling I found is very, very negative as well. But Better Dwelling is it's a financial reporter. They report on financial news. But here's I didn't print any of these out because I didn't like them. But here are the headings, and this is what your consumer's reading. So you got to overcome it somehow. Canada's Big Six mortgages. Canada's Big Six. Okay, Big Six banks.
Yep.
So Canada's Big Six banks.
Banks, yeah.
Banks. Mortgage arrears surge above national average. So a lot of people are now reneging on their mortgages, and they're seeing a surge in people that are going through power sale. Anybody see that themselves on MLS? Does anybody have any client trying to search for power sale properties or distressed
I hear it from
properties?
agents, yes. I get that question. Can I have a list of distressed sales? Can
Right,
I show me all the foreclosures?
You guys know how to look up, foreclosure?
I correct them.
Foreclosure, just so you know, foreclosure is an American term, right? They do have foreclosures in Canada, but they're very, very few, far between. Most of it's in American states. Up here we have power sale. Just to remind you, power sale means that you haven't made your mortgage payments. After 35 days, the mortgage company writes you a letter. You got to pay us the full amount you owe us in 10 days. And then if you don't do that, then they can go for a writ of possession. A lot of times they don't wait the 35 days. A lot of times it takes 2 or 3 months. By the time you find out it's 2 or 3 months that this has been going on. But that's what they can do, right? So power sale properties there, and under power sale properties, they pretty much sell for market value. They're not going to sell for any deep discounts. They're going to reflect the condition of the property. If the property condition isn't very good, then the price will reflect that.
They're going to try to sell for more because they probably have a highly leveraged mortgage. They're trying to get as much as they can for their loan back.
So they're saying here so Canadian Big Six banks are saying that the arrears have surged. Now, also, I don't have the number here, I didn't want to print it out, but the surge, it's probably still less than 1% or less than 2% anyways.
489 properties right now. 489.
So that's up.
489.
489
But some
properties out of
properties under
27,000, right?
corporation, they're also under that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Do you use our search or you made your own search for that?
Yeah, I have
Good,
it.
yeah. Okay, we can teach you guys how to do that too.
So you searching from client remarks or broker remarks, or what are you searching?
Seller name.
Or the seller name?
All that, power of sale,
Like in the comments or as a seller name?
in the comments,
In the
yeah.
comments,
And
okay.
the remarks for
the only
sellers.
thing
Yeah.
is corporation goes there too.
Yes, true.
So if you want to look for power sales and you got clients, and you can either look for owner's name, anything with the name of trust in it, anything owner's name with the bank in it,
Yeah.
or you can also look at client remarks or broker's remarks, put in power sale, POS, distress, all these types of words in that, and 480 came out of 27,000.
That makes sense. There's about 200 at the earlier of the year, so yeah, they've doubled. But it's still out of 30,000 listings, it's not that many.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
So
It
anyways,
used to be only 30
Yeah.
in the past, right? Yeah.
so you got to be positive. So don't read this stuff. I'm just going to read the headlines, right? So I just talked about the Canadian banks, and it says also Toronto real estate's long-term prospects fade as unemployment news nears 400,000. So unemployment news is not good. Population growth hid its rising household debt burden. No, they did that.
I don't know. Again, these are negative headlines.
Canadians are less satisfied with life. Bank of Canada made this is good news, finally. Bank of Canada made 3 interest rate cuts before spring of 2026. So there we go, there's positive, get rid of all the other. So I don't read that, just move on.
Condo projects. We know it's not very many starts this year, but you guys tell me what's happening. The past week, I started getting questions about what pre-construction projects I'm recommending to clients. Are your clients starting to ask about pre-construction again? I've had 3 inquiries, and I was like, I'm not really recommending pre-construction right now. If you can buy now, why not? It's like 17,000 condos, but I have been starting to get more questions, which is always interesting to me because it tells me that people are sort of interested. And usually these are people that can't buy right now. So they're sort of planning for the future, and usually they're end users. These are not investors, so it's usually they can't afford now, but I've been starting to get more questions about it, which is interesting. The other thing I'm reading, so Urban Nation is saying that we have 9 condo canceled projects this year, which seems like a lot. It amounts to about 2,500 units. But what I was surprised about is that in 2021, we had the same number of condo projects canceled, about 2,100 units. So it seems to me that we've always had canceled projects and things go under. 2017, 1,800 units were canceled. The only difference is that the reason for the cancellations has changed a little bit. So in the years past, so pre-COVID or around COVID time, individual developers were having financial struggles. So these might have been smaller builders that tried to get something going and they themselves didn't have the financial capacity to get it going. Whereas today is more of a wider market trend with building costs and permits and affordability and interest rates. So it's a more of a wider market trend, but the trend is still the trend. Projects can get canceled. So there is always a risk, I think, with pre-construction projects. I think it's always been there. It's just a different reason of why they're not being built. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Again, like we love to harp on this negativity, no starts or condos being canceled, but this has always been happening. This is not new, right? This is why you're probably unfazed about this. This is nothing new for you, right? So we are aware of a project. There's this one they talk about downtown Toronto. It's I think in High Park area, about 190 units. I've got some in Scarborough I'm keeping an eye on. We haven't gotten the official word that it's canceled. As far as I know, the borough is trying to redevelop into some townhouses, and they haven't officially been canceled yet, but nothing's happened. So I am seeing it more and more, and I'm seeing people ask me about assignments more and more, but this week is the first week in a long time that I've had people ask me about new pre-construction projects. So that's interesting.
Curious.
Yeah.
A couple off-topic things here. We had an agent that represented a tenant, and the tenant was put an application to rent a place, and then the listing agent came back and said your tenant has a history with the courts, and so we're not going to give it to him. Was it Open Door? What's the name of that program?
I don't think they referenced any. They just showed us the results today.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Anyways, so what had happened here, he found out that the tenant that we were representing, obviously didn't rent it to him, says that this guy here applied to order to terminate the tenancy because the guy wasn't paying rent. He was ordered to pay $650 for the thing and pay $17,000 in back rent, so on and so forth. This came from Single Key. Okay, so are you guys finding a lot of tenants now are being creative with their applications at all? Anybody notice that? Or there was a bit of a rush going on there where people are being very creative with the tenant information?
Yeah.
So we're recommending you pay the $40, whatever it is, to have Single Key do a check for them. What they do is they do two things. I think they do the credit check, right? So rather than, do you guys have the tenants give you the credit check? Anybody do that? Get the credit? And
That's standard, yeah.
right? That's standard, and everybody knows that PDFs are very easy to manipulate. So you're probably better off to just take the application from the tenant, hire Single Key, and let them do the Equifax, let them do the searches for you. They'll also search the courts. There's also I think it's called Open Door.
Open room, I think.
Open room.
Open room. Sorry, I know it's open something. Open room, where the public can register bad tenants. So they're starting to create a database of bad tenants. So you can also do that too. So you've got to do something there, right?
Yeah, this is part of your detective work now as a real estate agent. You have to Google your own tenants now, especially if you find them online and they're not connected to your database or your circle. You've got to research them before you start representing them and making offers for them. I know people are checking their social medias now, their LinkedIn. If you don't have social media, that's almost more of a red flag if you can't find anything. But you've got to search for your own clients now. Don't leave it up to the landlord necessarily. If you're going to rep somebody, you've got to do your own research too.
What if they don't want to be represented?
I would not represent them. Are you guys getting that question? I know you got this. I don't want to be represented. I just want you to do my offer and answer my questions, but I don't want you to represent me. I got another one of those today. Is that happening now? Is this the language, this new self-rep thing people are starting to ask you about?
Someone provided a Equifax report, dated the same, 2 different score numbers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So they,
Two different, so that's for online. It's the same report, 2 different numbers. And how do you find out? With the font, you look at the spacing, anything that looks misaligned, right?
Sometimes if you don't want to hire a Single Key, you can also take that document and load it up to ChatGPT and ask it to look for it and see if it has any anomalies there as well. I'm not sure if that works very well or not.
I don't know if privacy stuff too.
Doesn't work sometimes?
Yeah, because it's confidential information. so
Yeah,
they have no
I don't like
access to
that.
it,
I think Single Key does that too.
yeah.
Single Key runs it through the ChatGPT as well? Yeah, okay. September 17th, Wednesday, we've got that Treb dinner. If anybody going to that? I heard Elio saying something. You going? You're going? Who else is going?
I'm going.
Going? Anybody else? Just 2? Anybody else? You guys might want to catch up to each other? So Sethi and yourself and Sharma. Okay, good. Mr. West, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Peter West going?
Is
this guy?
there another?
Is there another Peter West in there?
Peter West there?
Yeah.
It's free?
You know what I think about free rent?
It's no free lunch. It's free. You only pay $1,000 a year for it, but yeah. You remember years ago we had a Canadian convention there. We rented that Trillium boat. I'm looking at Leo here. And remember we rented that Trillium boat? It was like a ferry there. Everybody know the Trillium down the ferry boat?
Don't
It's an
tell
old one.
them our secrets. What if we want to pull this off one day?
Anyways, you can't anymore because they just towed that boat to Hamilton to get either torn down or refurbished or something. But boat doesn't work anymore.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell another story. Okay.
No.
That's too bad. First-time home buyers. I want to go over the rules a little bit and what qualifies a first-time home buyer depending on what program you're trying to educate them on. I think first-time home buyers are a little nervous right now to get into the market because they don't know all the benefits available to them. So as agents, it's really good to help them understand what they have available to them because some of it might surprise you. So I'm just going to go over a couple programs and what a first-time buyer means in terms of that program. So 3 programs would be the Ontario Land Transfer Tax Rebate. Second one is the RRSP Home Buyers Plan, the HBP plan. And the third one is the First Home Savings Account, FHSA. Okay, so these are all government-run programs. So for land transfer tax, this is basically you can get up to $4,000 on the provincial side and about $44.75 if it's in Toronto for Toronto Municipal Land Transfer Tax. The eligibility rules are more strict for this particular program, okay? So they follow what's called the never ever rule when it comes to being a first-time home buyer. So to qualify, you must be 18 years old. You must have never owned a home or interest in any home anywhere in the world. Okay, so it's not just Canada. If you want to qualify for your land transfer tax rebate, you cannot have owned a house anywhere in the world. You must live in the home as your principal residence within 9 months of the purchase. And then here's the kicker where people get confused. Your spouse or common law partner must also have never owned a home in the time you were together as a couple. Okay, so if you meet all of those things, you can qualify for the Ontario Land Transfer Tax rebate. If your partner or spouse owned a home before your relationship started, you may still qualify for that, okay? And then there's some new additions to this where you must be a Canadian citizen or have a permanent resident status. So there's an example of somebody where it was 2 first-time home buyers, but one of them didn't have her PR yet. So they only got half of the rebate for the spouse. But they did give her an exception where if she could prove that she got her PR within 30 days, they would give her the rebate. But that's a pretty quick turnaround. She would have had to already have been in process to receive that. But they got half of that. And then somebody will always say, well, how would they know if I owned a house in wherever? Government agencies are interconnected, so they have that information. So they'll know. And it could also trigger a reassessment with some penalties if you try to skirt around it as well, so be careful. So that's the Land Transfer Tax Rebate Program. And then under the RRSP Home Buyers Plan, so this is where you can use your RRSP savings up to $60,000 per couple to help with the down payment. It's a little bit more forgiving than the LTDB rebate. So they use what's called the 4-year look-back rule. So to qualify, you must not have lived in a home that you or your common law spouse or partner owned in the current year or the 4 preceding calendar years. You need a single agreement to buy or build a qualifying home, signed agreement. You must intend to make that home your principal residence within 1 year, and you must be a resident of Canada. So technically, it could be like a fresh start clause. If you have a couple that sold a house 4 years ago, have been renting for 4 years, they could qualify to tap into their RRSP plan. So I know people, up to $60,000 per couple.
That increases.
So I know of people that sold.
I'm looking at it now. Is it $30,000 each or $60,000 each?
30,000.
Yeah, so $60,000 per couple.
Per couple. So I should say 30 each would be more accurate. So I do know people that sold in the peak, sold in 2022, were a little bit market savvy. They said, we're going to sell in the peak, we're going to rent for a little bit. Technically, if they had RSPs, they could tap into that. Okay? Then the First Home Savings Account, this is similar to your RSP, but it's a little bit different because it's not tax deferred. For the RSP, the preceding 4 years. Okay? So the FHSA is a little bit newer. It has a similar tax perk of an RSP, but it's not income reducing, right? So you can invest into your TFSA, and you can use up to $40,000 towards your first home purchase. So it uses a similar rule to the 4-year look-back rule. It's a little bit different. Basically, you have to be between 18 and 71 years old and a Canadian resident. you must not have owned or jointly owned or lived in a qualifying home in the calendar year before you open the FHSA or during the previous 4 calendar years. So it's a little bit different because it depends on when you open the account, not when you dip into the account or you use it. So this rule also considers property owned by your spouse or common law partner that you lived in. So that's the only nuance, is that the timing begins when the account is open, and that's when the eligibility clock starts. So that's pretty similar to your RSP plan, except that you don't reduce your income by investing into your home savings plan. So I would definitely make some content about this and post it, or talk to your clients about this if they have first-time home buyers, if you're helping parents, helping their kids as well. Some advice is talking to a mortgage expert early. Open your FHSA early. So if you know of first-time home buyers that are getting ready, they should open up their account now, because that eligibility clock starts the day they open it. So open it now while they start to get looking. Be honest with yourself and your partner. So talk to your common law partner, make sure they didn't own a house anywhere in the world, make sure they're not lying, try to get some honest information, and don't leave money on the table. There may be clients out there that could benefit from some of these programs, and why not?
Just to update there, it's $60,000 each.
Each, okay, good.
Yeah, I just checked.
It is? Okay, good. This was...
The couple,
It says 15 years to pay
and
back,
it used to be 15 years. Yeah, it used to be 35,000. Now it's 60,000 each.
Each, okay. This was September 11th. I printed this, so that's okay though. What's that dated?
April 24.
Okay.
So who wrote that? ChatGPT.
Maybe. Whatever. The point is, it's a lot of money you can use, right? Yeah. Right.
So
Under
is there any
20,000
age
per couple.
limit, like if they're senior and they're the first time home buyer here, so are they qualified here?
It depends on which program they're. So you're talking about.
You use like all of them, right? They qualify for either one of them.
They're just different programs. So one's related to land transfer tax when you purchase a property. The other two are related to savings that you want to use towards your down payment. So yeah, in theory, you could be first-time home buyer for land transfer tax and be a first-time home buyer and use your RRSPs. They're different programs for different reasons. Yeah.
Also, like for Iran, Canada doesn't have any access. So if they're lying, nobody's gonna know, right?
So you, as their agent, will tell them all of the rules and guidelines.
Somebody will know.
Somebody will.
Somebody will know.
They know. No, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
if they're gonna say that
I don't-
they
yeah.
have any, like,
Yeah, and that's on them, right? That's the tax qualifications are on them. So.
I'm aware of somebody, just so you know, you can't trust anybody. I know somebody that was from a different country, not Iran, but over there someplace. And they made a comment that they hadn't done something, whatever it was, and they're also divorced. And then the divorced one thought they'd get back at him and say, oh, and they reported to CRA, he did this and did this and did this. Jail
Naughty,
time.
naughty.
Jail time.
Jail time.
It was work from home, but it was that serious. So if you can do what you want, but just make sure your spouse is on your side,
That's right.
or your ex-spouse.
Don't worry, we won't tell anyone.
Safe not to do it.
That's true. I don't know if this will make it more complicated, but in terms of mortgages and like newly built homes, so repeat buyers, so not your first-time home buyers, if they're doing an insured mortgage, they're only eligible to do 30-year amortization on newly built homes. First-time home buyers can get 30-year amortization regardless of a resale or a new build home. So that's available for first-time home buyers. And yeah.
So who cannot get it?
So repeat buyers on insured mortgages cannot do 30 years. On regular mortgages, they can.
But they will allow it on brand new build.
For
both.
for both repeat buyers and first-time home buyers. Yeah, they're really trying to promote.
No, they
Buying new
made it the builders are made as first-time buyers for builders, and I thought, well, let's open up to everybody because we're trying to get the builders to give them some help. Right?
You can keep going if you've got something. We've got a couple more.
Okay,
but-
so do some government stuff there. So Nazir's talking about how the federal government here is talking about, have to go from memory here, $13 billion they're going to try to invest in the home business across Canada. They're going to try to promote, I heard they're going to build like 400 homes. I'm not sure it was all across Canada or Ontario or where that might have been.
400 homes.
400 homes are going to do all this,
I hope
this
Ontario.
pre-built stuff. 400 homes doesn't sound like a lot.
I hope it's Ontario GTA or something. Yeah.
But they're trying to get into these pre-approved homes for they don't have to go through all the hoops trying drawings for architects, zoning, all those things, right? They're spending money on that. They're spending money on infrastructure. They're trying to make pipelines and ports, and they're trying to spend all kinds of money. I'm not sure what's going on with Trump down there, but the Americans on interest rates, you can do interest rates, I don't know. Interest rates, the Americans' cost of living came in at 2.9. It's actually increased from 2% or so. So it actually went up, but they're still expecting interest rates to drop. I don't know if it's this week down there or not, but they expect rates there to drop by a quarter point at least.
Yeah.
Canada, they're talking about at least a quarter point on the 17th. That's what people are projecting. And I even read some guys even thinking a half a point. Because I'm not sure what our inflation went to, what, 2.1 or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
It's in that area. So the government's trying their best. We're still up in the air as far as trade goes. But as I said last week when I'm reading the newspapers, I don't think the public's talking about it anymore. I don't think the public is concerned about tariffs or Trump or anything else. I think they're more concerned about jobs and the economy than anything else. I think that's more important now.
Yeah.
And affordability. You guys, are you the same thing? Like every day we're looking at Trump this, Trump that, Trump that. Now we don't even bother. He just talks and changes. And what do they call him? Taco, whatever it is, and he keeps on changing his mind, right? But it is a serious thing, and jobs are a serious thing. But
Yeah.
you know, if we can't make cars in Canada, or whatever it is that we can't make, then we can't make cars in Canada. That's it. You know?
I think people have accepted the fact that they don't know what he's going to come up with next. Or it's going to be uncertain. Every time he talks, it's going to be something different. So people are kind of used to that now, and that's created a little bit of stability in its own, right?
He said, nobody knows what I'm doing.
That's right. So okay, like, well,
No one
what
knows
are we
what
going to
I'm
do? We're not going to
doing,
wait.
including
I'm going to do it next week. I don't know.
We're not going to wait around anymore.
including me.
Know what he's doing
No,
himself,
it's
so.
ridiculous. Yeah. I only have a couple more things, and I'm going to go over our back to school schedule as well. AI, are you guys using AI in your business? I know some people get mad at me when I talk about it because it's like not a new thing, but like, how are you guys using it in your business? If you are, I know everyone's using it for the property descriptions because I can tell on MLS the word boast and step into is all the descriptions are looking the same now. So they're saying, AI is here. It is what it is. So you're either going to use it or you're not. But just some tips if you're going to use it, because now you have to start to get creative with how you're using it. It's not just ChatGPT anymore. There's many different tools and programs. And one of the most important things is that when you're prompting AI is to prompt properly. So when you guys use computers, and I'm sure when you brought in the first computer here, you gave the computer directions, right? You gave it instructions. You told it what you were looking for so that it would output the information that you were looking for. So AI is the same thing. You have to prompt in a way that it's giving you the information. If your prompt is short and vague and lacking context, you're going to get a result that's also lacking context. It's not going to make sense, right? So here's some ideas for when you're trying to prompt something. So this is if you're in ChatGPT or in Gemini and you're trying to get it to give you some information. So make sure you're looking at these 5 different sort of ideas. So one is assign the role. So tell AI who it is to you. And what you're using it for. So if it's a business transaction or if you're in real estate, like introduce yourself to the AI. I'm a real estate agent, I run a real estate business, and I'm gonna use you to help me give me advice on my real estate business. And then explain the context, explain why you're asking what you're asking. So if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to create a content calendar for your marketing program, you're gonna say, I'm a real estate agent, I'm trying to create a whole calendar for 12 months to help me with my marketing plan. So give it some idea of why you're asking for this information. And then directly command it. So directly spell out what you are looking for. Don't be vague. Say, I am looking for a 12-month calendar with content for each week with X amount of posts for the entire year. So tell it exactly what you're looking for. And then format the output. So are you looking for a table to summarize everything? Are you looking for a January to December review and have it put in the days of when you're going to do this content? Are you looking for a plan of written bullet points? So tell it what format. Do you want Excel? Do you want PDF? What are you looking for? And it will give you that format. And then add a little bit of clarity. So let the AI ask follow-up. So usually it will say, would you like me to summarize this information for you? Or would you like me to create an Instagram post that reflects this? So it's going to ask you some follow-up. So play around with that and give it some more information because it's trying to help you give what you're looking for. So just think about those 5 things as you're sort of trying to use AI. Make sure you're getting the right output you're looking for. So as an example, does anyone follow Gary Vee? Does anyone know what he does? I know you send Gary Vee. You're maybe the only one. Anyone else? Gary Vee. So he's like what would you call him? Like a media sort of. He runs a media company, but he's been heavily involved in social media and lead gen for a long time.
Yeah, he's one of the first people to
create content the way a lot of people are creating content now.
That's right.
And teaches people how to repurpose one piece of content into 27 different things.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, so he was, the sort of pioneer of creating one piece of content and making like 50 pieces of that exact same thing across different channels to help blow up your marketing branding. So this was before AI. So now AI can do what he was teaching. So what he would teach, and AI can do this now for you, is you can shoot, let's say, one video right now of a particular topic. Maybe it's a 10-minute video of you talking about something, and then you put that into AI. So where Gary had a whole team of like producers and engineers and graphic designers creating this stuff, now you can actually go into AI, put in your video and ask it to make, like here's an example, make 20 to 30 smaller pieces across different platforms. So you want 10 short videos for IG, TikTok, YouTube, some memes that drive traffic back to your reel, a blog post that embeds the video, have AI write captions for each platform, draft LinkedIn, Facebook, and X posts from the same source. So right from one video, you could have 20 to 60 pieces of content for one video using AI now, not using Canva and graphic designers and all the stuff that we used to use before. So AI can actually do that for you right there today. That sound crazy?
Same article talks about AI. Just to try to give you some ideas here. Mm-hmm. Anybody do NFL pools? I don't, but somebody does. So this person here, same person wrote this. She put in all the data of the NFL stats, all the player stats, team stats, whatever you look at, and asked ChatGPT to select a fantasy team for me. And she did it, and she said it worked very well. But she said very specific what she wanted to do. But her client, another client, did it, and all he said is, "Give me picks for NFL." He didn't give any data or anything else. So he did very poorly. She did very well. So how could you do that in real estate? I don't know.
Marketing plans, content plans.
I'm thinking of agents. Like, let's say you want to do a CMA. Can you guys load up the data of the CMA and say, based on this information, what would you think the property's worth?
You could, if you gave it the right prompts and direction and context. Mm-hmm.
So you can do stuff like that, right?
I'm not sure that would work. Like when people are doing AI with legal issues, they're not getting the right answers completely either. So
well, no. What we're saying here is it's bad input, bad output, right? So if you're not asking specific questions, if you just say what's the CMA in this property, you're not going to get anywhere. So you've got to be more specific. But you still have to have your own brain too, right? You got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. But you get some rural property that you're not familiar with. It works out that way sometimes.
I've used it to help me sort of like price out. If I had a client that was like, what's the average price in this particular little pocket? I've asked AI to help me make a little summary. It's not exact pricing or comparable, but it gives me enough of an idea of the talking point to chat with my client a little bit about it, right?
Yeah. You wouldn't want to trust ChatGPT to do this right away unless you're really familiar with it. But let's say you have multiple offers. You load up 10 offers into ChatGPT and say, put it in a table for me. Right, and it'll tell you here's the name, here's the price, here's the down payment, here's the closing date, here's the conditions. Right, it's things like that. Right, so that's a practical thing I can see.
Yep.
I'm waiting for the day on. I don't know, it costs too much for us to create it. But right now you phone the girls to get an offer typed. What do you say? MLS number such and such, price this, name of the client, blah blah blah. You give them what 4 or 5 different things. Wouldn't it be nice to talk to an AI? And it just does it for you?
Or maybe you'll be talking to an AI and we won't tell you that. You'll think you're talking to the front desk.
Right?
It's going to happen. We're not that far.
I see that happening in the future. So.
Yeah.
Somebody just has to design it. So.
Do you think AI is going to take over real estate?
No.
No. But I think it'll make it faster and maybe more knowledgeable.
Yeah, I think if you're not using it, you'll be left behind of people that are implementing it into their businesses and using it the right way. But certainly, it's not going to take over any jobs or industry.
So let's say right now you've got an odd clause. Somebody wants something weird on an offer, and you usually phone Nelson or Carly or somebody there, and they'll give you the clauses, right? So let's say we're not available. Just go to ChatGPT, ask the same question. You'd be surprised what you get.
Yeah. Or you know what I get now?
You're going to get the same answer that.
Yeah. Sometimes an agent will show me their ChatGPT clause for me to kind of validate it. I don't mind that, taking a look at it.
Have you done that? Have you used ChatGPT yet, Nelson, for clauses?
Rarely, yeah.
Yeah.
Some that are really complicated I have, just to give me...
A foundation, right?
Give you a foundation?
Yeah, I've done that too.
Mm-hmm. I use it for verbal promises, that clause for all the agents and brokers. There were no verbal promises given to the buyers.
Okay, interesting.
That was pretty good.
Like disclosures, you mean, or your Schedule A?
Yeah.
If anybody's sending out anything by Canada Post, they're talking about a strike, and their first thing they're going to do is take out ad mail.
Yeah.
So if you're using Canada Post for ad mail, be aware of what they're doing on the strike.
Yeah, I think they're gonna stop all neighborhood type dedicated postal walk mail. Like your regular mail will be slow, will be okay, but
Stopping them permanently?
yeah. Well,
No, just on
while
strike.
they're going strike. Yeah.
Will I still get my Costco flyer?
No.
Nope.
You still look for flyers.
Yeah, man, you know?
They're online, you know that?
I'm okay with just gonna go through Caitlin's stuff.
That's fine. Good.
You're good?
Yeah, and we've got these two.
Yeah. Okay. So Caitlin, right from her recovery bed, is planning all of your back to school training. There's a very heavy September, October timing, so I'll kind of go through everything that's happening. So this week, the Mike Ferry Action Workshop is September 16th to the 18th in Scarborough. Is anyone doing Mike Ferry? Do you know of anyone doing it? Susan, you've done it already before, right? You liked it? Yeah.
So this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah. So that is happening. Bye, bye, bye. Don't apologize. Nice to see you guys. Varan Fides Mortgage is hosting.
And the $100 goes to.
Boss lady.
Varan is hosting his big conference. It's a free conference. I think it's going to be really great. It's called Endure 2025. It is at the Durham Convention Center, not the Ajax Convention Center. I am told they are very close in location, in fact, maybe even the same street. So if you go to the wrong one, you can just walk, I think, across the street, but it's at the Durham Convention Center. It's between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. on September 18th. That's a full day designed for real estate professionals looking to plan your last quarter and set the stage for 2026. And I think there's some networking opportunities as well. We'll be going to that also. And then every Monday, 12 p.m., we'll play some sort of sales skills. We've moved on from Ryan Serhant, so we'll be doing some other stuff as well. And then 12:45, obviously, we have our Monday meeting every Monday. September 25th, Century 21 Canada is doing a mastermind downtown Toronto. If anyone wants to go to that, it's between 1 and 3. And then there's a Blue Jays game that night right after. October 1st is a very exciting topic. It's my most favorite topic. I know Claire loves it as well. I want to make it mandatory. I can't do that, but if I could strongly suggest everybody comes, it's for FinTrack training. And they're going to do some updates on new FinTrack rules as of this year as well. So it will be critical for everyone to go see that, but we will record it as well for those that can't come. October 7th is Reclaim Your Edge with Richard Robbins. So that's an in-person event, I believe. And then Caitlin's got a whole series for October. I'll just run down really quickly without dates maybe, but she's going to talk about finding clients, 5 proven strategies, winning the client, consultations that convert, serving clients with excellence, mastering communication, building a referral engine, smart follow-up systems, the buyer experience from offer to closing, and the seller experience from listing to the keys handed over. So Caitlin will be running all of those sessions in October. I believe they will be in person and virtual. And then just keep an eye out on your email. She's going to constantly be sending you tips and stuff. Today, even she sent out some videos as well. So, once she's fully recovered, you're going to be full in back to school mode for you guys as well, once the kids are all settled as well. So lots happening.
Just a correction here, the Mike Ferry thing is 4 days. It's September 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and it's just down the street here. It's Kennedy Road in Ellsbury.
It's close.
I'd recommend that for sure.
Do you think you could go for like 1 day? Like, how would that? No. The 4 days is kind of a lot.
It's four,
Okay, that makes more sense.
it's 4 half days, right?
Yeah, 9 to 1. Yeah.
Most of our guys have done action workshop many times, right?
Yeah. So Caitlin's got a
Enough for a
full back to school schedule. I believe she's emailed this already. If not, it's coming soon. But it's going to have all the dates and all the stuff you need to save. She did, right? Good. Cool. Any listings anyone wants to talk about or questions? We're all excited for the 17th, I'm sure. Anything online?
Selena's a 2-bedroom, 3 full bath bungalow in North Oshawa for $795.
2-bedroom bungalow in North Oshawa. That should be a pretty desirable product right now, that sort of bungalow style. That's pretty reasonable too. That must be brand new listing. Yeah.
Just listed.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. She'll do okay for that. That's good. Anyone else online or anything? Last words from you?
So there's lots of training stuff going on here, so don't, get out of the house and come
Come to the office?
to the office or go to these trainings here, right? I mean,
Come to the office for a half day, a couple hours. Doesn't need to be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Okay, well, have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.